Okay, so here we have, going to talk about a shouldered barrel Barloc and how that works. So if you have a shouldered barrel, you're going to have a recoil lug with the conical shape, the cone here coming out, and then you're going to have the Barloc ring, and then you're going to have one other ring, and that flat ring is meant to go up against the shoulder, and so it is cut at an angle. So you set all of this together, and if it were a nucleus, then it'll have the nucleus protuberance, but this is a Barloc recoil lug for a non-nucleus. So if a smith cuts a straight shoulder, then you put this first with this angle. Now the smith, if this were a cut shoulder, could always cut that angle in, and then you don't need this part. But if the smith doesn't do that or can't do that, then that's how that works. So again, assuming this is the shoulder, let me put it forward a little bit just so it threads in faster. This is the shoulder, and this is the recoil lug. Then you put that in, and of course it's going to be head spaced. So then you would just turn it in until the shoulder caught and was tight. You'd want to tighten the shoulder against it, and tighten the shoulder against it, and then it would clamp in and push this apart. So you can't use the wrench, but you'd need a barrel vise or some really strong hands. But you can get a lot of the way there, and so it's right there. You know, and I'm not sure exactly how far you really do need to get that apart. But based upon Ted's recommendations, you'd need a barrel wrench just to give it a little bit more so that you were able to open that up until the wrench can fit in there. But it's not that much force. And then do the same procedure to tighten as the other, which is spin this down until it hits resistance. So it just spins. As soon as it hits resistance, you stop. And if you don't have a torque wrench, then you put it in and you tighten it. Once you hit resistance, you tighten it 1 1/4 turns. So that's a half. There's another half, so that's 1. And so now I'm going to go a 1/4 turn, which is from the top down to the 3 o'clock. So then I'm going to bring it down, and so that clamps the Barloc together, which spreads these conical apart, and so the threads are preloaded. Now for me to try to use a barrel nut, a barrel wrench, to try to take this apart, it's going to be much more torque and preload is put on the threads because it's pulling the barrel this way, and so there's much more force on these threads than if you simply torqued the barrel in, because it's by action is pushing the threads this way, whereas when you tighten it, you have the friction of the threads turning against themselves to overcome as well. But this just simply loads the threads like this and pulls it open.